Thank you very much. My name is Johan Van Toff, and I'm here to give a tribute to my very good friend and work colleague, Hazel McCallion. Hazel, as you know, was mayor of Mississauga for 37 years. She was also a chancellor of Sheridan College. So I was asked to give a toast to the work colleague that I knew. The interesting thing is I worked with her for the last 5 years of her life, from age 97 to 102. Doing so, I saw Hazel in 3 very different ways over those years. So how do I know her? She and I were appointed to the board of the GTAA, or Pearson Airport, in 2017 at the same time, and so we went through the director orientation together. And if anybody wants to complain about Pearson, I'll be outside and you can talk. Trust me, we've heard you. My first thing that I noticed with her in the first few meetings, meetings are a bit formal and they're a bit awkward, but airport directors go on an orientation tour, and so we went to, 4 new directors went to Heathrow, Bangkok, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. On the plane over, which was the dayliner, it was a Saturday 9 a.m. departure, she comes over to my seat, and I could just see hair above the things because she was this tall. And she asked me, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to get up late, I'm going to have a big English breakfast, and I think I'm going to go to Evensong at St. Paul's Cathedral." She says, "Will you take me?" And I said, "Sure." How? And then it came out that she was a lifelong Anglican. She had gone to Norway for a conference in 1947, taken her 7 days to get there. So we went off to St. Paul's, and on the steps up, and there's about 50 steps, not only did she not stumble, she made it all the way up, but she stopped 4 times. She was stopped 4 times by people who said, "Are you Hazel?" And she said, "I am." And after that, I said to her, we went to Evensong, it was glorious. And we went to tea in Piccadilly, and we had scones with clotted cream and strawberry jam and Darjeeling tea. She was recognized twice in the restaurant. Every time she was gracious and humble and said yes and to every picture, and she would stand up and she'd smile and she'd chat. And so what I saw was humility, grace, kindness, and a real soul. In Hong Kong, we flew off to Bangkok, and then after Hong Kong, we took a tour of the airport above, and it's a little bit over the top. There are bottles of cognac for $70,000 there. We took a tour of the baggage area down below. I think we walked about 6 kilometers in 37-degree heat. She was asked if she wanted a ride on a golf cart. No. She walked all the way with us. We never flagged. We never had to wait for her. She stayed with us the entire time, and I expected her to go flat out at the hotel and go to bed. Nope. She was in the bar. Scotch on the rocks, and I expected her to have one and go to bed. Nope. She got her second one and came back and asked if anybody else needed theirs. What I saw was an indefatigable attention to her role, and yet a time for social in a wonderful, kind way. The third moment I saw her was in COVID. I'm chair of the audit committee, and we had the shocking experience of going from 140,000 passengers to 3,000. We went from earning $2.5 million a day in EBITDA to losing $2.2 million a day in cash. We were losing $15 million a week. We in fact, to get through COVID, we borrowed $830 million. So the audit committee was tasked with figuring out the pivot, figuring out what to do, because one of the things we worried about was we have to come back, and so we didn't want to lay off too many. And she sat on my audit committee, and the audit packages would come out, would be 400 pages. Massive budgets, spreadsheets, all kinds of disclosure. And 3 or 4 days before the meetings, my cell phone would go, and I would see who it was, and I would hear, "Johan, it's Hazel." And she would say, "Are you looking at page 168 to 172? Do you see the numbers there? Because I think this and I think that." And she had done the work, 400 pages. She was 100 years old at the time. I saw her values: cost consciousness, diligence in doing the job, insight and analytics, all, and a sharp mind. She broke many ceilings, clearly leadership in high places, but probably the best, which I like, she broke the ageism ceiling. She was a valuable member of us, and we were all deeply chagrined when she left us. And I thought, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. I mean, she was old enough to be my mother, which is hard to say today. And there are not many politicians or people like her. Leaders who are straight, cost-conscious, attention to detail, personable, and humble. So I would like you to toast to Hazel. May we have more game changers like you. Here's to Hazel.